Hello YouTubers, my name is Virtuoso and right now it is exactly 7:25 in the morning of the 7th of August 2019. This video was originally the first episode of this reading series, so I will be reading to you not one but two award-winning short stories. The first one is called Refitting Shattered Pieces by Alicia Bruzzone, 2015 I believe. And the second is Bring the Poison by Adrianna Villasenor. Both are well-written pieces, full of imagination and with a decent vocabulary for all to understand. The first one ends with an interesting twist, and the second, well, we could say the second is somehow hilarious. Or at least that's how I found it. Anyway, hopefully I'm not crossing a line by making a video out of these short stories. I found them in a website where they have published the award-winning short stories of 2015. Then I tried to contact the website for permission to see if it's admissible, but I couldn't. Nonetheless, here I am trying to read them to you. So, without further ado, please sit back, relax, and enjoy. Refitting Shattered Pieces. Keys jangled uncharacteristically early as the front door was pushed inwards, waking me from my afternoon nap. Dad came in, shaking rainwater from his hair as I dragged myself off to get a towel from the bathroom. Dad rubbed his neck with the towel absently when I presented it to him, paying little attention as he unwound a bundle of blankets that had been clutched to his chest. A tiny squeal of complaint erupted over the pitter-patter of rain on the roof, and I took a startled step back. He didn't. He couldn't have. There were only adults allowed here. Adults only. "It's all right, Charlie," Dad said, understanding my alarm. "This little girl is Brenda. She's just scared and in need of a new family," he added with a thoughtful frown, rubbing Brenda's back soothingly. "Her mother, there was an accident and a car." Dad's eyes watered as he looked down at the dark-haired bundle in his arms, pressing her into his chest. "Well, let's just say it's best not to talk about some things with certain company present and miraculously alive, despite these sounding odds." He coughed lightly before placing a fake smile on his face and looking down at our apparent world. His tone was lighter when he spoke next, his pitch deliberately higher in an attempt to soothe the wriggling youngster currently trying to escape his arms. "She's old enough to eat solid foods. I thought she might be better with you. She's going to need a new mom." Dad looks at me quizzically, but my gaze is still stuck on Brenda. How old is she? She couldn't possibly be more than a few months. She'll need a lot of looking after. I don't think I'm ready. I can't be responsible for her. "Hey," Dad calls, gently lowering Brenda to play on the floor so he can walk over to me. He grabs the sides of my face. "You can do it, Charlie. I know you can." "Why? With your own boys..." He cuts off, and with an embarrassed flush of his cheeks goes over to check on Brenda. "You should be ashamed. We never talk of them. 3 boisterous boys I had once, and in one fell swoop I lost them all." It shattered my heart into 1,000 shards of hurt that never healed, and I vowed no more offspring. And then Dad brings home a fresh orphan and expects me to adopt her? I pick a look at Brenda, who is trembling and falling over backwards to avoid that. She looks so lost, with little slits on the pads of her feet, cuts from broken glass. "Charlie, I have to get back to work. There's only so long the hospital runs without the doctor." Dad's brown eyes look over to pierce into mine. "Are you going to be able to look after Brenda, or do I need to find her another home?" "I don't want to, if we can avoid it." Brenda's understandably terrified of traveling in the car. I give in to guilt. heaving myself over to the cowering little girl, ever so gently. I pick her up and take her to the kitchen with me. Finishing my nap can wait. I'll be home with supplies when I can, Dad called out. Looked like it was up to me to improvise. I slid a bowl of food in front of Brenda, wondering if she'd manage. She gnawed at a biscuit for an impossibly long time before giving up and slurping some water. Dribbles ran in tracks over her chin and down her neck, exposing how filthy she truly was. I relented, giving in to my long-abandoned maternal instincts. Someone had to care for her. A slither of content managed to fit between the hurt in my heart as she happily nestled into my chest. I was still bathing Brenda when Dad returned home. "Ah, Charlie, I knew I could count on you," he called fondly. I stopped licking Brenda long enough to get a scratch from Dad behind my ears. "Who's a good dog, looking after the little orphan kitten? I knew you'd forgive me one day for selling those pups." You bring poison. I wait for you to bring the poison that will kill it. The poison that will flush it from the cracks in the walls and into the light where I can crush it with my foot. I hear it scurry under the wallpaper, squeezing its exoskeleton through the glue. The sound crawls up my spine and I try to wait patiently. When will you get here? Where is the poison? It is a cockroach with 2-inch long antennae and a spiked bottom. It is merely a bug, smaller than my foot is wide, but it is threatening to evict me. It eats my food and chews the wires to the point where the darkness reigns when the blinds are shut. While I shower, it watches from the ceiling, and when I need to use the restroom, it sits on the toilet, daring me to exert my superior strength, but I cannot. I squished it once before. It was only the size of a penny then. What I did not know was that it has an inhuman resilience to life. That is why I need you to bring the poison. My foot cannot stomp it out of existence alone. It needs to be poisoned and squished, then burned and whisked away by a broom. I know this because I squished it once before and it did not die. No, it lived on. Its baby shell rebounded and it scurried away injured. It lived and swore vengeance. Do you see my predicament now? The little bug does not multiply just because it wants to be the sole cause of my impatience, of my anxiety. It wants me to feel the weight of it pushing it from all sides, crushing me until I too scurry away injured. Or does it want the final word? The poison will be the golden goblet, the holy grail that I need. Its wondrous elixir will banish this malignant creature from my heart and I will be able to sleep, to eat, to pee without anxiety. The poison will let me live again. So I wait for you while I hear it wedging its body above my head, in the cracks of the roof, chittering to itself. I had hoped we could live in peace, the roach and I, but I know the truth now. It did not want to coexist because it already claimed the house. It chewed into the fridge and used it as a bathroom. It craved tunnels into the mattress. It even ate cockroach-shaped patterns into my clothes. We started as roommates and I dealt with its antics for a time, but then it became unbearable. It became more personal. It chewed my hair while I slept, misplaced my teddy bear, slept in my underwear drawer, ate my toothbrush. I needed space, that was all. But I overreacted and squished it. I'm done paying for my mistake, and with that bug, I need the poison now. Like clockwork, I hear you at the door. Strangely enough, I cannot help but feel guilty at this deciding hour. The roach was here before I moved in. Did that mean I was the one who invaded, and that I had no right to punish it? I look around me and notice that it is deadly quiet. Does it know what is about to happen? Does it know that I'm ending the game? Is it angry? What will happen if this does not kill it? I open the door and greet you with a nervous smile. You do not have the proper equipment advertised. You are not carrying the poison nozzle and you do not wear the typical jumpsuit required for this messy business. No, instead, you are wearing all white and you look at me suspiciously. I tell you about the roach and lead you to the most hideous spot it created. I show you the chute wires, the defecation in the fridge, the network of tunnels in the mattress, the bald spots in my scalp, and the patterns in my clothes. Tears spring in my eyes as I sincerely thank you for saving me from the roach. You are solid the entire time. After the excitement boils over inside me, I wait for your response. When all you do is look at me with a blank, disbelieving face, it is the roach that replies. It chuckles from inside the wallpaper in its familiar way that tells me it recognizes victory. The anxiety steams up again and I point to the sound, then to you. Can you hear it? Kill it! Kill it! Get the poison! Flush it out! You look at me and take me by the arm. You begin to pull me outside, away from the roach's laughter. No, just listen to it. Listen to it mock us. No, please. You have the wrong man. It's in the walls. Get the poison. Get the magical potion and spray it in between the wallpaper and glue. Let its nozzle pump the liquid mixture through the passageways like a heart does the blood. Let it present itself to you. Let there be proof of what I'm saying. Let me bring my foot down upon it and light it ablaze. You do not reason or listen to what I say. I go quiet, knowing that it outsmarted me, that it won.